Jay Brophy, a teammate of Bernie Kosar's at Miami. Very close friends. Kosar told me he's hoping they don't collide head-to-head today. Hugh Green, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, mid-season acquisition for the Dolphins.
At quarterback number 49, William Judson. Blackwood. And at free safety number 43, Bud Brown.
So the Dolphins introduce their defense to the fans of the Orange Bowl, a defense that at times has been suspect alongside their explosive offense. We'll see you at halftime. Cricky and Trumpy join us for the kickoff next.
Today from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, it's the AFC Divisional Playoff game. The Cleveland Browns versus the Miami Dolphins. Brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By GTE Sprint. When you call Sprint, you've got the future on the line. And by Coors and Coors Light. Beers with a difference worth tasting. Big game day in Miami. The Orange Bowl sold out again as the Dolphins come into this playoff game with Cleveland with 7 straight wins. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Cricky with Bob Trumpy on a perfect day in South Florida, warm and sunny, just like the Dolphins like it. As you know, beating Miami in the Orange Bowl takes an exceptional effort. The Chicago Bears couldn't do it. No team has this season, and Trump, the odds makers, don't think the Browns have much of a shot.
Well, Don, most people, when they play the Miami Dolphins, feel to beat the Dolphins, you got to keep the ball away from Dan Marino. Cleveland has that opportunity with a set of great running backs. These two, just the third set to combine for 1,000 yards each in a season. Interestingly, Pittsburgh had a pair in '76. Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier, they win the Super Bowl. Miami had a pair in '72. Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka, they win the Super Bowl. These two guys for Cleveland have 477 rushes by their running backs, accounted for 466.
The Miami success centers around a phenomenal passing game. Quarterback Dan Marino makes it happen fast. He again led the National Football League with 30 touchdown throws this season, and he's been going more and more, Trump, to a wily 12-year veteran, Nat Moore.
Yeah, Clayton and Duper get an awful lot of attention, but in this season, a season where Nat Moore almost retired, as Axe told you in the pregame show, on third down situations, Dan Marino is looking to that wily veteran. He's got 51 catches, 7 touchdowns, his most productive season for the Miami Dolphins, and this is where Cleveland's going to have problems. We know their cornerbacks are good and bump and run on the outside. How do they handle Nat Moore on the underneath coverage third down situations?
Dan Marino's only 24 years old, has already thrown almost 100 touchdown passes. His counterpart with Cleveland, Bernie Kosar, is a 21-year-old rookie. But Trump, they say him coming back to the Orange Bowl is like Brer Rabbit back in the Briar Patch.
Yeah. And apparently the week in Vero Beach helped Bernie Kosar a great deal. They got a lot of work, a lot of good work, and he loves playing down here in this heat.
Well, he's got heat. 80 degrees at kickoff time. Sunny, partly sunny day right now as Marty Schottenheimer, after an 8-8 season and a divisional championship in the AFC Central, brings his highly trained Browns into this game. They worked hard, as you pointed out, Trump, in Vero Beach. Really felt that their team progressed greatly, particularly Kosar. He said he really came alive during the week.
Awful lot of weight on that young man's shoulders, too. He's the youngest quarterback in the NFL, playing where he became famous. Don Shula loves this place. They're 8-0 this season.
Have lost just once here in the last 2 regular seasons. 15-1 over the past 2 regular seasons at home are the Dolphins. The Raiders beat them last year. 84, actually. Here's a kickoff now downfield. Driven into the end zone by Reves, and it'll come out to the 20 for Cleveland. 1st and 10 for the Browns. Bernie Kosar of University of Miami fame. We're at age 19. He quarterbacked that school to a national championship. His offensive line has gotten a lot stronger as the season's gone on. Holden, the right tackle. Steve Bolden, a very strong blocker. They like him. Ozzie Newsome, 62 receptions this year. And the Browns get back their best deep threat for this game. Clarence Weathers is back. He can fly. Brennan's the other flanker. Biner and Mack, 1,000-yard rushers. Aligned in an I set. Now they open it up. Ernest Spiner takes on some Dolphins and gets it out close to the 24-yard line. Miami's defense gave up a lot to the run early, but they've come on now with Bo Camper and Betters at the ends. Charles has done a terrific job at nose tackle, a 280-pounder from Syracuse who leads the team with 7 sacks. Hugh Green has been a consensus All-Pro. Came in here in a trade with Tampa Bay. Ship and Brophy inside, the veteran Bob Brzezinski, the other outside linebacker opposite Hugh Green. Safeties are playing hurt, particularly Glenn Blackwood. He has a bad ankle. Going to go as long as he can. Browns now with 2nd down and 6 coming up. Long 6. Kevin Mack. It'll be 3rd and short as Kevin Mack, a 215-pounder from Clemson, powers the ball out close to the 29-yard line. 5-yard gain.
Don, one of the things the Browns like to do, watch Reggie Langhorne. He comes in motion through the formation, then as a crackback blocker trying to shut off the pursuit of the linebackers. He gets a good hit on Ship, and it brings up 3rd and very short. This is a very conservative, although very efficient Cleveland Browns offense. They don't want to put Bernie Kosar in 3rd and long situations.
Well, they got him in 3rd and short right now. 3rd and a yard for Cleveland, opening drive. Kevin Mack looks like he might be a foot short. He's chopped by Hugh Green. The spot means everything here.
Dolphins did a great job of stringing this play out. These running backs block very well for each other, but you can see that 40 Kozlowski does a great job of disrupting the seam in the defense. Running back had no place to go. 3 downs and out.
And Hugh Green made the hit that took him down short of the 1st down. So now Tommy Figueredo's back as Jeff Gossett is ready to punt for Cleveland. Didn't hit it well. Line drive is fielded on a fair catch by Lyle Blackwood at the Dolphins' 42-yard line. Just a 30-yard punt. So the supercharged Dolphin offense comes out with excellent field position to start. The offensive line anchored by All-Pro center Dwight Stevenson. They pass block well, have given up the fewest sacks in the NFL. Marino at quarterback. Tony Nathan with 72 catches and is also the leading rusher. 1 runner. Woody Bennett's the other. They'll alternate people back there. Have a couple of good rookies who will play. And of course the Marks brothers, Mark Duper and Mark Clayton, are the wideouts. Dolphins work with 3 tight ends. They're starting with Bruce Hardy, a line to the left. Bennett. Dan Rogers, the free safety, got it, and Woody Bennett almost went the distance. A 17-yard gain as it is. So the Dolphins break a big play on their first from scrimmage.
Surprising play to start the football game by the Miami Dolphins. This is a team that has not run the ball very well. But I think this offensive line of the Miami Dolphins, they're upset that no one gives them respect for the running yards that they get for Nathan and for Bennett. That surprised Cleveland more than anything else, Don.
17-yard gain. Now Marino ready to strike on 1st and 10. Dan Marino, who makes it happen fast, goes to tight end Dan Johnson, and he's inside the Cleveland 35-yard line. A look at the Browns defensively. Golick, the middle guard, the nose tackle Bob Golick is heading to the Pro Bowl. Linebackers, the strength of the defense, Chip Banks, a Pro Bowler. Johnson and Nicholas start on the inside. Nicholas in for the injured Tom Cousineau. Clay Matthews, an outside linebacker, who's been a Pro Bowl player. Minifield and Dixon at the corners, good coverers. Safeties are strong. Defensive secondary, a good area of the Cleveland team. 2nd down run by Tony Nathan, and the Browns shut him down. Coming up to fill was Chip Banks. 4 years in the league, 3 times a starter in the Pro Bowl.
Don, I noticed at the outset the Cleveland Browns, known for bump and run cornerback coverage by Dixon and by Minifield, backing off of Clayton and Duper at the start of the ball game. There are 2 schools of thought when you play against Dan Marino. If you blitz him, most people say you get killed. The other choice is, of course, put as many guys back in coverage as you can, make him throw into the zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DBs now for the Cleveland Browns.
Marino setting in the shotgun at the 39-yard line of Cleveland.
Pat Moore.
Nice breakup on the play. Coming up to get it was the strong safety Al Gross.
One of the big things we want to watch all day is who matches up with Nat Moore, this gifted third down receiver. This time it's Felix Wright, 22 on the inside. He gets by Felix Wright, but Wright does the correct thing. He stays underneath the receiver. I think Marino's first choice would have been Nat Moore. That's great coverage by Felix Wright on that play.
Reveiz, the rookie kicker, has the longest this season of 49. He's ready to try a 51-yarder for the Dolphins. Wind should not be a factor. Right down the alley, Fuad Reveiz puts the Dolphins on the board with 10:34 to play in the first quarter. Miami takes a 3-0 lead.
You don't have to come out here to understand performance. The car has either got it or it doesn't. Now, if having more driving fun makes sense to you, you're going to like Mazda 626. It's got a...
After that third down play, Nat Moore goes straight to the sideline, picks up the phone, talks to David Shula upstairs, says, I got Felix Wright in coverage. Next time we'll do this.
Browns coming up short on a third down, and a short punt by Gossett of just 30 yards, and the Dolphins quickly turn it into points, breaking a 17-yard run by Woody Bennett. And then a career longest 51-yard field goal by Fuad Reveiz, so it's 3-0 Miami. 80 degrees and sunny in South Florida as Reveiz, a two-step kickoff man, hits a popper inside the 5. And here comes Glenn Young. White shirts sweep him under at the 19-yard line. An 18-yard return, so Kosar and the Browns offense gets a second crack at it. Joe Rose was down to make the first hit on special teams for Miami.
Early stages of a football game, emotion is determined by the defense and the special teams. Glenn Young, the leading kickoff returner in the AFC, got nothing there. Miami, as you expected, come out with a head of steam already. Shula does a great job getting this team ready for playoffs.
Don Shula's birthday, 56 years old today. It's Bernie Kosar, who's 21, 11 starts for Cleveland. He's 4-6 as a starter. Football again, nothing there. Biner takes it, and Mike Charles throws up a blocker and makes a jolting hit-on hit. Number 71, the nose tackle.
If there has been a big change in this defense of the Miami Dolphins, it's been the play of Hugh Green. He now knows the defense under Chuck Studley, does not go out there tentative. He knows where he's supposed to be, what he's supposed to do. You see that shield over his eyes. He had an eye problem in Tampa. It's licked, but he still likes wearing the shield.
It could be Kosar's first throw of the day. Double tight ends in, set to the right. That's Newsom at the lower portion of your screen. 2nd and 8. Pick up the blitz. Biner fell down. He was open, but fell trying to cut out of the 25-yard line. So it's 3rd and 8 as Hugh Green's playing a lot of football early in this game.
Well, he can play a lot of football. He's a great coverage linebacker also. You see him on Kevin Mack here. That's contact, or excuse me, that's Biner out in the flat. Miami wants to flush Kosar ever so slightly. They feel if they can get him on the move, that he doesn't throw the ball as well as when he's sitting back there with his feet underneath him.
Chuck Studley, the Miami defensive coordinator, likes to send blitzes up the middle on passing down. 3rd and 8. They center one up the middle. Kosar gets it away, but he overthrows Clarence Weathers at the 35-yard line, so the Browns have to punt it again, and the Dolphins again. Trump should get very good field position.
Yeah, the bad news for Cleveland, that's twice now. They're 3 plays and out. Initial stages of a football game, you want something better than that, anything better than that. The Browns have been a slow starting team. They've scored just 44 points in the first quarter.
First punt officially was just 29 yards as Tommy Vigorito's back again now for Gossett's punt. This time Gossett hits it well. Towering punt taken to the 37, and the Browns are there to get him. So a well-executed coverage of a good punt. 41 yards with a lot of hang time and no return. Chris Rockins was down to make the play. We'll be back with Miami on offense after this.
Nothing clears my head better than a romp down a road like this. If that doesn't make sense to you, then this car probably won't either. The new generation Mazda RX-7 pours out power as smooth as silk, as only a rotary can. And nothing has a more advanced suspension system, so you track through turns like you're on rails. You can pay a whole lot more for a sports car and still not have this much fun.
Say, aren't you the driver of this new RX-7?
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I bring on our little Italian mouse, Topo Gigio.
Hi, can you tell me a nice place to stay, please?
There's a Hyatt house down the road.
On the main streets of America, there is a changing of the guard. From a generation who started businesses close to home in a much simpler time, to a generation who knows long-distance telecommunications is no longer a luxury, but a necessity of business life. A generation who demands the economy, innovation, and quality that is the once and future trademark of GTE Sprint. When you've got Sprint, you've got the future on the line.
Cleveland linebacker Tom Cousineau catching some rays down here before the game, but he won't catch many Dolphins because that broken hand probably is going to keep him out all day.
Bad wrist. They can't find a cast that they can put over it to avoid the jarring. He can't take on blockers, so Scott Nicholas starts in his place.
He is in battle gear, though. Nicholas in to start for him. Fourth-year player from Miami of Florida, Scott Nicholas, number 58. Dolphins, second possession, good field position both times. This time they go from the 37 and they lead the game 3-0. Marino makes it happen fast as he looks deep, and wide open is tight end Bruce Hardy as he riddles the Browns right up the gut for a gain down to the 47-yard line. 17 yards. It's been a big number for Miami on first down.
Don Rogers on the tackle. Throughout this season, the Cleveland Browns defense has played that bump and run on the outside. Still Minifield and Dixon playing off the wide receivers, tight ends for the Miami Dolphins. Very critical to their success. They get so much double coverage on the outside guys.
Marino's numbers are off from a year ago, but they probably will never be numbers like Marino had a year ago. 5,000 yards passing, 48 touchdowns. NFL record. Here is a handoff, and this time the Browns stuffed Woody Green. Clay Matthews, 57, was the first player through, and there's a loss on the play back to the 50.
Don Nicholas did a great job of just blitzing right inside the pulling guard, and he was there to make the contact. Watch 58 right in the middle of your screen. That's a predetermined blitz. Bennett's got to get around him, then Matthews there to help with the tackle. That dog defense can attack the line of scrimmage.
Cleveland players, most of them have their heads shaved on defense. And they bark.
Sounds like a nice group. Kind you take home for dinner.
Fun guys. Second and 13 now for Miami. Marino looks to catch him coming early with a long count. Mark Duper goes for the ball but can't get it, so it's going to be 3rd and long now for the Miami Dolphins. Lots of people blocking Pro Bowl nose tackle Bob Golick.
He's one of the real dogs in there. He barks. Stevenson, generally speaking, can handle any nose tackle by himself. See, Foster does a good job helping out. Marino gets plenty of time to throw. He's only been sacked 19 times this year, and that offensive line doesn't hold. Defensive line converts. People hurt playing out of position. John Sandusky still doing a great job. Here's where Nat Moore shines.
3rd and long for the Dolphins, who lead 3-0. 7:47 to play first quarter. And Marino hits the deck hard as on the pass rush was number 91 Sam Clancy, and for Dixon on the coverage, so the Brown defense bites. And Cleveland will get it back on the first Miami punt of the day.
They changed up on him. Felix Wright once again. Look at the outside. Hanford Dixon. It's a zone. It's not a man-to-man, even though they disguise it as bump and run man-to-man. Marino almost throws that interception. I think he realized the coverage late, threw it into the ground. That's a plus for Cleveland right there.
Marino did have one problem throwing the ball. It was his 23 interceptions. Only 2 quarterbacks threw more. Roby Trumpy booms a high punt. AFC's best punter forces Brian Brennan into a fair catch at his 17-yard line. So Cleveland with a third possession now, all three deep in their own end. Coach Schottenheimer fired up.
Give me a light.
Back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. 7:33 to play first quarter. Cleveland Browns with the ball, trailing Miami 3-0 in this divisional playoff game. Bernie Kosar gives up, and the Browns get some power back running from Kevin Mack, who takes it across the 30 for a gain of 8, almost 9 yards. State-of-the-art treatment for a bad ankle. Glenn Blackwood. This is Glenn in the locker room yesterday being treated with some kind of an airbag. Must have worked because he's out here today.
Yeah, a week ago, Glenn Blackwood could not have played with that bad ankle. But he has it over taped, and he's going to do the best he possibly can, go as long as he possibly can, and give way to his brother Lyle.
He's the man who calls the defensive signals for Miami. He leads them in interceptions with 6. Integral part of the Dolphin defense, Glenn Blackwood. He's in there now. Second and short yardage. And Kevin Mack puts his head down and doesn't get a thing. Doug Betters fought off tacklers and rode him down, so it'll be third and short yardage again. Kevin Mack played in the U.S. Football League after coming out of Clemson, and then came in as an NFL rookie to Cleveland, rushing for over 1,100 yards. 5 yards a carry average.
My estimation should have been the NFL's Rookie of the Year. He did an outstanding job for a team that last year was finesse. Cleveland's first down of the ball game. Schottenheimer done an excellent job. Last year, I think the Cleveland Browns could best be described as a finesse football team. And this year, they are a very physical football team.
6:30 to go, as you just saw. Now are looking at a view from the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise from Pompano Beach, Florida. The pilot is Captain Don Plaskonic from Randolph, Ohio, who played college football at the University of Miami. Right now, with the spot giving the Browns a first down, they're ready to go now, 1st and 10. Kevin Mack, Lilja pulls, and Kevin Mack, a power runner with speed, working hard and gets 11.
Whoa.
First down, Cleveland. So the Brown game plan, Trump, as you pointed out, was to run the ball at Miami and keep Marino off the field. This set of downs, it seems to be working.
And they all seem to choose to run to Kim Bokamper's size. Now, he's not a bad player. He's just the smallest defensive lineman. He's a former linebacker, a former all-pro linebacker, converted to defensive end. Ricky Bolden do a good job. 1, 2, 3 missed tackles. 4, he's still fighting. 5, 6 guys finally hit him before he goes down an 11-yard gain.
Now Curtis Dickey is in the game for Cleveland. Picked up off the waiver wire from the Indianapolis Colts, a former #1 of the Colts. Curtis Dickey, he can go fast. And Curtis Dickey bangs ahead for 9 more yards as the Browns, powering the ball, are getting the jump on the Miami defense right now. Bud Brown, the free safety, made the tackle for the Dolphins.
Heat and humidity in Miami always takes a toll on opponents. Of course, the Cleveland Browns worked out for a week in Vero Beach, which is about, I think, 120 miles north of here. It's not quite as hot. It's not quite as humid, but they got their first good work in about 6 weeks.
Kevin Mack, the leading rusher in the game, has 5 carries for 25 yards. In games that he's gained 90 or more yards in, Cleveland's unbeaten. It's in 5 games. 5-0 in those. Pitch back. Dickey. A world-class sprinter at one time, and he gets ahead for 9. A lot of times you hear the term a world-class sprinter when a guy ran college track, but Curtis Dickey was one of the fastest people in the world at Texas A&M.
Not a bad average. 2 carries now, 19 yards. Watch Charles, the nose tackle. Defensive players can never quit until that ball is on the ground. That's one of the advantages that offensive players have. They can rest once they make the block, and they can kind of take the down off. But you'll see 71 come from the inside. His play much improved, as stated by Don Shula, and that's helped the Browns rushing defense to this point.
Power alignment again for Cleveland. On 2nd and short, 2 tight ends in, and Ernest Biner. No, they play fake. Kosar looks, swings it out to Holt, a tight end, the former All-Canada player, and he has a first down for the Browns. Puts his head down and butts his way to the Miami 36-yard line. Brodzinski knocked him down.
Holt,
Schottenheimer's ready to get in the game, I think, here.
Yeah, he tapes his ankles just in case. Holt is a guy who has been on the IR for most of the season. recently activated. He's picked up about 10, maybe 12 pounds. Not good weight, but he's an excellent blocker and a good outlet receiver for Bernie Kosar.
Browns and the Dolphins have not met since 1979. First time in 13 years Cleveland's been at the Orange Bowl. Biner turns the corner. And the Dolphins continue to give up a lot of yards as Cleveland runs to the right side of the Miami defense. That a 15-yard gain.
This young man seems to be the heart and soul of the offense of the Cleveland Browns. He needed 7 yards on his last run of the regular season to reach 1,000. He got 9, and he doesn't run to the sideline. Boom, he takes on Glenn Blackwood there. These guys are fire plugs, and they got jets on their feet.
So Biner with 3 carries, 21 yards for Cleveland. The Browns working their game plan to perfection on this drive. This initiated at the Cleveland 18-yard line. Miami leads the game late in the first quarter, 3-0. Kevin Mack. We saw a lot of Hugh Green from early in the game. He hadn't been there in this drive. They're knocking him right off the play.
I do think that if Mack had waited for George Lilja, number 62, he'd had a better chance to pick up some yards. He outran that offensive lineman in front of him, had no interference when he got to the sideline. This is power football. Whoa.
But Miami leads on the board with a 3-0 count, a 51-yard field goal, the longest of his pro career for rookie Fuad Reveiz. That was on the Dolphins' first possession. 9th play of the drive coming up now for Cleveland. 2nd and 8. It's loud here at the Orange Bowl as Biner tries the middle, and filling very nicely to make the hit was Jay Brophy, a teammate of Bernie Kosar's for 4 years at Miami of Florida.
To this point in the ball game for the Cleveland Browns, averaging 8.5 yards on each first down. That gives you a 2nd and 1.5. Any coach can look like a genius.
Some nicked people already. Miami linebacker Jackie Shipp is out with a bruised shoulder, but is going to return shortly. Right now as the clock runs, 1:38 to go in the first quarter. Cleveland driving, Miami leading 3-0. Open man, Ozzie Newsome, he's in for Cleveland, and the Browns take the lead. Okay, there's a lot of Cleveland fans down here.
Rooting for them dogs. Alex Moyer, 54 for the Miami Dolphins. The man in coverage. Tell you, this Kosar kid is absolutely unflappable. There you see 54 Newsome, all-time leading receiver at the position of tight end. Takes a hit, gets the ball in the end zone. What a drive. What a drive by the Cleveland Browns.
An absolute football masterpiece. The Browns taking it from their own 18-yard line, banging it down the field. Run, run, run. A couple of key throws. The last for a touchdown by Kosar. And now the extra point is built up. And it's good. And with 1:24 to play in the first quarter, the Cleveland Browns have now taken a 7-3 lead.
Are you anything like my brother Jack? He figured the only way to get into a serious road car was to go empty his bank account and buy something from the Black Forest. But I talked him into driving
And that drive takes care of the cobwebs for the Cleveland Browns. Any lack of confidence they may have had in their ability to run against the Miami Dolphins, that's now a memory.
Brown blockers in that drive weren't just knocking the Dolphins off the play, they were knocking them down. Cleveland dominant in that drive as they take a 7-3 lead. Very important for this young team. A confidence builder. Now a short kickoff, and Vigorito brings it back up the middle for Miami to his 33-yard line. Let's watch the touchdown throw as Bernie Kosar works more magic in the Orange Bowl.
Browns spread the field. You get linebacker coverage on Newsome, who has historically a great release off the line of scrimmage. He's a tweener, not really a great big blocker, not really a very fleet receiver, but he can get open. Kosar with tremendous confidence in Ozzie Newsome, and that's a pretty easy pattern for a touchdown.
Ozzie Newsome, one of the great ones on the field and off, has caught more passes than anybody in pro football since 1979. as he's in the end zone, and the Browns, the decided underdog, have a 7-3 lead. Woody Bennett looks for some place to go, and there's not much there. Brown linebackers are big and they're quick, and up to make the first hit was Reggie Camp, the defensive left end. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network.
And this is WSV in Channel 7, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
2 yards, 2nd and 8.
We're at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Divisional playoff game, the Cleveland Browns versus the Miami Dolphins, with 46 seconds to play in the first quarter and the clock running. Cleveland, an 82-yard drive, culminating with a touchdown throw. Kosar to Newsom has taken a 7-3 lead. Now Miami's ready to go, 2nd down and 8. Marino makes a quick read. Lets her fly, and he's got a man open, but the ball is off the fingertips of Mark Duper. And again, Marino gets popped as he releases the ball.
Don Cleveland doing an excellent job of changing defenses on the Miami Dolphins. Here you see Dixon. It appears to be bump and run, but that's the double rotation zone. Corners up, safeties out, and he's kind of lost there for a minute, is Mark Duper, but because Marino is flushed slightly from the pocket, he can't really put the ball where he wants to. So far, the defense of the Cleveland Browns done an excellent job of confusing Dan Marino on the final coverage. 2, 4, 6 DBs now for the Cleveland Browns, Don.
3rd down and 8. Marino does very well to release the ball as he was about to be sacked, and the Cleveland pass rush has beaten the Miami offensive line. So after the Dolphins took it down the field on their first possession, kicked a long field goal, this game has been decidedly Cleveland's.
This could have been a sack. It appeared to me that Dan Marino was in the grasp of Bob Goley. He's got him by the knee, still gets it off. He's going to net more once again. Cleveland doing an outstanding job of disguising coverages.
Goley can work those takedowns. He was an All-American wrestler at Notre Dame, as well as an All-American football player. A kick downfield. Brian Brennan forced into another fair catch by long ball hitter Reggie Roby, and so the Browns again start deep in their own end after a 48-yard punt by Roby. Kosar ready to come out. The playoffs continue tomorrow on NBC Sports as the Patriots, a surprise club, and getting back quarterback Steve Grogan for tomorrow's game, head into the Coliseum to take on the bad California boys, the LA Raiders. The action starts at 3:30 Eastern time with NFL 85 and your host Bob Costas. Be with us tomorrow on NBC Sports for more NFL playoff action, the Patriots and the Raiders. See if the Browns come out running left again. They just overpowered Miami that side. Kevin Mack runs the ball. An overmatch here, at least at this point in the game, Trump, is the blocking of Harry Holt, who's been out with an injury, a former All-Canada tight end, number 81. He has been knocking Hugh Green 5 yards off the line with just drive blocks. That's the end of the first quarter. The Browns a surprise 7-3 leader.
Hi.
Hi.
Guess what?
What?
I'm blue.
The authentic Super Bowl program. Send your check for $5 plus 95 cents.
The Cleveland Browns came into this playoff game an underdog looking to run the ball, and they've been running it very well. As you see the time of possession and the yards rushing, Cleveland with almost a 4-1 advantage on Miami running the ball. Marty Schottenheimer was one of the few people, I think, Trump, that thought Cleveland could win this game. He said, we're going to win it.
Yeah, well, at least they've established now something they can do offensively. I would expect them to continue to do that. Double tight ends until Miami stops them.
Kosar, good play fake, and he gets Biner up the middle. Look at that hit. That was Hugh Green. It was on a 2nd and 6 play, and Hugh Green makes the knockdown at the 25-yard line. A couple of yards short of a Cleveland first down. It brings up 3rd down.
Biner, an excellent receiver for the Cleveland Browns, as well as a runner. He had 45 catches through the season. And Kosar's taken no chances throwing that ball down the field. He does not want any turnovers here. That's a pancake by Hugh Green. That's what they call those. Think they'll come this way?
They've been doing it. Running right at the left side. Back right. That's Ernest Biner. Head down. He's got a first down for Cleveland out to the 29-yard line.
Now, I'll make this observation. It appears to me that they are running behind Harry Holt. Wherever he lines up, that's the side they're going to choose. Double tight end formation. Holt the better of the two blockers between he or Newsome. Big guy too, 245. He can stay fresh today. He may be the key to the Cleveland Browns' success.
He's really been knocking linebackers off the play. And right now, Cleveland with a first down sets up again with the power formation. Newsome, tight end line to the right, lower portion of your screen. Holt, a 250-pound blocker at the top. Bernie Kosar has to unload. Comes back to Holt. And Hugh Green is there to make a hit. Yard loss. They're yelling Hugh.
Now the problem with Holt here, it's a delay, and he's an outlet receiver for Bernie Kosar, but he doesn't do anything. You see Green trying to hold up Ozzie Newsome at the line of scrimmage. He just stands there. Don't wave. All it does is bring attention to yourself, and this is the result. Try to hide, you know.
So Hugh Green, who was getting beat on some of those running downs in that Cleveland touchdown drive, now delivers a couple of major plays. 12:46 to play. First half, clock running. Browns with the ball and a 7-3 lead over the heavily favored Dolphins. Second and 14 with the ball's position. Good pass blocking. Incomplete at the 33-yard line. Hugh Green separated Ozzie Newsome from the ball.
There should have been a flag there. Hugh Green had Ozzie Newsome's shirt all over the place. He got away with one. Now watch Newsome on this spin. First the release. Nice little move. Now watch Hugh Green. Right hand pulling the shirt, trying to keep him from spinning. Ball thrown on time. That's great coverage. You get, hey, look, you got to take your chances. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you don't.
Hugh Green, the 1980 College Player of the Year at the University of Pittsburgh. Now the situation Cleveland hoped to keep young Bernie Kosar out of. Third and long. As the Dolphins will be teeing off and coming with a three-man rush. Kosar lets it fly. Brian Brennan is leveled by Bud Brown. Brennan's all right. But Cleveland has to punt the ball to the Dolphins.
That was a busted pattern. Somebody ran the wrong one. Clarence Weathers and Brian Brennan were within 3 yards of each other. I thought if Weathers put his hands up or makes an attempt to catch that ball, he's got it. Watch this once again. You don't want two receivers this close to each other at the end of a play. You see there?
Almost lights out for Brian Brennan, but he's all right now. Vigorito fields a punt. Tommy Vigorito of the Dolphins gets back to the Miami 30. That was a 56-yard punt by Jeff Gossett of Cleveland, an 11-yard return. The Dolphins have it trailing by 4.
57 yards. The game that counts.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your local Ford. Downtown Miami, Florida, on a picture-perfect day, 80 degrees and sunny. It's been that way for 10 straight days. A big week in Miami, capped by another superb Orange Bowl as Oklahoma was crowned national champion Wednesday night. And now the Dolphins pack the Orange Bowl, taking on the Browns with Miami trailing 7-3. Marino with a quick throw. And he gets Tony Nathan out of the backfield, ahead for a gain of about 6 or 7 yards.
Marino now 3 of 8 throwing. Scott Nicholas was the man in coverage. Eddie Johnson finally with the tackle. That's the value of a Tony Nathan. Very quick, can run the ball. He's their leading rusher. He's their leading receiver. He is so tough to cover with a linebacker.
It's Nathan's 73rd catch of the year. And he also leads the Dolphins in rushing, averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Dan Marino probably drops to throw, makes his read, and fires as fast as any quarterback has ever played. That's why he's been sacked so few times. And now Joe Carter, another Alabama back, takes the ball on 2nd and 4. And he runs for a Miami first down across the Dolphin 40. Hanford Dixon knocked him down.
Carter comes into the ball game averaging 5.4 yards per carry. But let's watch the old man on this team, Nat Moore. Not only does he catch, he's got a block. Good job on Eddie Johnson.
Was it?
That seals the corner. Joe Carter, a nice pickup of about 8 or 9 yards.
Joe Carter, the man who just carried, is the only Miami back to rush for 100 yards in a game in the last 3 seasons, believe it or not. Swing pass goes to Big Woody Bennett on first down. And Bennett fights tacklers out to his 49-yard line, a gain of 6.
That's Bennett's 11th catch of the year. They don't throw to him very often.
When they do, he appreciates it and gets him some yards. Big blocker. And you'll remember ripped off that 17-yard run on Miami's first play from scrimmage, and subsequently the Dolphins kicked a 51-yard field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Then after Cleveland's 82-yard drive, capped by the touchdown throw, Cosart Ozzie Newsome, the Browns led it 7-3, and that's how it stands right now. 10:49 to go, first half. Tony Nathan trying to go into the Cleveland defense on a 2nd and 4 play, got 2 to the Browns 49-yard line. Eddie Johnson, inside backer, made the stop for Cleveland. 51.
Gain of 2 yards.
Great day for the beach, Trump, but by the 4th quarter, we're going to have some tired troops out there.
Yeah, you're going to need some sunscreen. Just had a report from the Dolphins bench. Jackie Shipp going in to have his ankle examined and his shin last couple of weeks. Jackie Shipp has played very, very well.
Miami 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions today as Marino sets in the shotgun. They even do it on short yardage downs. Extra DBs in for the Cleveland Browns. First down, Miami. Quick pitch. Taking the ball is Tony Nathan. He's not done till he's down to the Cleveland 36-yard line. 13 yards on a 3rd and 3 play.
Eddie Johnson was the man in coverage. Look at what Cleveland's doing. They run a lot of bump and run. This time it is man-to-man, but you see the move by Nathan out of the backfield. Eddie Johnson slips. You know, one thing about Miami, championship teams, successful teams are able to make adjustments to what the defense is doing. May take them a while, but conversation with David Shula up in the booth, and now it appears Miami's figured it out.
Browns had a club record 44 sacks this past season. They've been pressuring Marino. He's taking shorter drops now, getting the ball away quickly. Home run. Clayton. Very nearly interference. Minifield right with him, stride for stride. The official right there also says it's clean.
Teammates at Louisville. Minifield upset that Clayton got an awful lot more attention at Louisville. Minifield said he never could beat me.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did.
Had a good look at it.
This is that bump and run that Cleveland loves to run. And of course, with the size of these DBs from the Cleveland Browns, they can match speed and also stop with these Miami wide receivers.
Minifield's not big, but they call him Sky. He's got a vertical leap of over 42 inches. That's slam dunk height. Here now at the run is Joe Carter weaving and working, and he doesn't get a whole lot on a 2nd down and 10 play. Worked ahead for maybe a yard. Minifield stayed with him and rode him down. Frank Minifield's, they list him at 5'9". He'd like to be. But he can get up.
Maybe in cleats on concrete he's 5'9", but the comment I make is that Miami's receivers run 4-4. They also stop 4-4 because they got those short little legs and great leg drive. Minifield and Dix can stop with them. Watch more here.
80 degrees and a bright sun shining here on the Orange Bowl as on 3rd and long. 3rd and 9. Dan Marino sets in the shotgun at the Cleveland 41. Bang. Going for Duper. Beautiful break up by the Cleveland Browns. Going way up to get the ball was Al Gross, the strong safety.
Don, they're doing a great job, the Cleveland defensive backs, when it's not bump and run. That's the strong safety rotating out to double cover the wide receiver. They're giving Miami a lot of different looks. Look at there. That's a difference in 6'2" to 5'9". Great job.
Dan Marino was pressured again by Sam Clancy, number 91. And Al Gross, the strong safety, was the man who tipped the ball away. Now a 3rd punt of the game coming up for Roby. Averaging 40 on his first 2. But his hang time is the thing that has been excellent. There's been no return yardage by Cleveland. Another wedge shot. Another fair catch forced inside the Cleveland 15-yard line. So the Browns again get a possession deep in their own end, but they do lead the game with 8:15 to play in the first half. It's Cleveland 7, Miami 3.
Best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC. Next Saturday, the Hula Bowl spotlights Lombardi Trophy winner Tony Casillas, running back sensation Napoleon McCallum, and the nation's top senior All-Americans in their final collegiate appearance. The Hula Bowl. College football's best and brightest are on NBC Sports.
Miami coach Don Shula to the right has strong ties to the Cleveland Browns. He grew up near Cleveland in Painesville, Ohio, dreaming of one day playing for the Browns. After collegiate career at John Carroll in Cleveland, he played 2 years with the Browns before going to the Colts. Now he's up to beat him today. Cleveland leading 7-3, first and 10, and markers all over. A misfire before the snap. Probably motion against the offense.
First flag.
Pat Haggerty, the referee.
Ball start. Number 77, offense.
Ricky Bolden, the left tackle, called for a false start. He's a good player, Ricky Bolden.
Field position in big games like this, generally a determining factor. You can't drive 80 yards all day long. Miami's won that field position battle so far, but Cleveland leads on the scoreboard.
2 years ago, Bernie Kosar worked magic for the Miami Hurricanes when they upset Nebraska and won the national championship on his Orange Bowl field. Now on first and 15, the Browns go to just a straight-ahead power dive, and 215-pound Ernest Biner gets some, not much. Before long, Trump, we're going to see Kosar go deep to Clarence Weathers. He's the deep threat.
Jay Brophy on the tackle. Talked to Greg Landry yesterday, Bernie Kosar's personal coach, the quarterback coach of the Cleveland Browns. He said has the best touch of any quarterback he's ever seen throwing the ball long. That's a rare ability.
And at age 21, he's only going to get better as Bernie Kosar now sets his team with second and just over 10. Browns 7, Dolphins 3, second quarter, 7:30 to play in it. Biner. And he gets out across the 20. Bring up third down and about 3 as Mark Brown, an inside linebacker from Purdue, made the stop for the Dolphins.
Brown playing because of the injury to Jackie Shipp. Mark Brown has a bad ankle, forced into the lineup. One of the advantages you have when you have a great running team, when your defense sets on 3rd and long or 2nd and long for a pass, you can still run the ball.
We don't get those people from East Carolina mad at us. Ernest Biner played at East Carolina, at Oklahoma State. Third down and 3 as dropping to throw is Bernie Kosar. Luke Pruitt intercepted by Miami. Picked off by cornerback Paul Langford. And the Dolphins make the big play on defense and get the ball at the Cleveland 25-yard line.
One thing that young quarterbacks have to learn in the NFL is not to stare at the receiver they're going to. You can see him follow the receiver all the way across the field. The rest of the defense just reads that. Intended receiver Brian Brennan. And from the minute Bernie Kosar got the ball in his hands, that's where he was locked on to. That's his 8th interception of the 1985 season.
Now Dan Marino, who likes to strike quickly after the turnover, sets his team first and 10. Clayton might have heard footsteps. The throw was right where it had to be, but Mark Clayton looked back, took his eye off the ball, and it'll be second down and 10.
And for Dixon on the coverage, and I believe you are correct, he looked a little shy putting his hands out there for that one. There is a philosophy of some defensive coaches that you let guys catch the ball, then you hammer them. And this Cleveland defense does that.
It was interesting, Trump. Marty Schottenheimer, looking at the films of the Dolphins, says they're 50-yard pass plays. They're not 50-yard throws. Most of them are 15-yard throws and 35-yard runs. He said, we've got to make the tackle when they catch the ball. Marino now 5 for 13 throwing the ball, 51 yards. 6:34 to play in the first half, and the Dolphins trail underdog Cleveland 7-3. A lot of time for Dan Marino, and he makes a pitch down to the 19-yard line to Tony Nathan. Nicholas on the stop for the Cleveland Browns.
You can see that Dan Marino is going to outlet receivers all over the field, Don. Browns doing a great job of disguising coverage. Now you can see everybody dropping back. They got That's a total zone coverage, too deep. And when that ball is thrown underneath, Nicholas, he reacts to that throw underneath and makes a tackle. Brings up about 3rd and 4, I'd say.
Tony Nathan, who caught 72 balls in the regular season, has 3 catches today for 26 yards. 3rd down and 4, Miami. Another strike. Tony Nathan, first down, Dolphins, 9-yard line of the Browns. It's first and goal, 10-yard gain.
Now you see what the Dolphins have done. They started out this game trying to get the ball to Nat Moore on the 3rd down situations. They discover the matchup. Tony Nathan on Eddie Johnson, and Dan Marino exploits it right here. Second time we've had single coverage linebacker on Tony Nathan, and he turns it into a first down. You got to adjust. That's all this game is, a game of adjustment from first down to last.
Remember talking to Mike Ditka when he was down here at that Monday night game, only loss to the Bears. He said Nathan's the killer. They had talked about everybody else and they're all good, but he said Nathan makes more big plays than anybody out there. Out pattern, a throw and a catch. Bruce Hardy diving at the ball, and he makes the play down close to the 7-yard line. Curtis Weathers backing the line on the outside was on the play.
That's the outside half of the slant pass. Duper and Clayton so very, very quick. Go down 5 yards, turn inside, head for the goalpost. Pattern made famous by Paul Warfield down here. Covered well by Cleveland. He goes to the outlet receiver once again. He's not gotten his primary receiver yet today, Don.
8 of 16 is Dan Marino for 69 yards. Dolphins, high-scoring team, have not been in the end zone yet, but they're close now. 2nd and goal. Trailing 7-3 Miami. Tip ball, and Clayton has it, but he's out. It's not an inbounds catch. Chip Banks was putting the heat on Marino.
That's also the Cardinals. Minifield versus Clayton. Former teammates, half roll. You don't see Miami do this very often, but ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Minifield is all over Clayton. Good call by the official. 3rd and goal.
Excellent second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is George Finkel. Our director, John Gonzalez. Executive producer, Michael Weissman, with us, as with 4:17 left to play in the first half. The Browns, a decided underdog, continue to lead Miami 7-3. Dolphins challenging. 3rd and goal. There's a blitz. Pick it up. There's an interception. The ball is picked up by Don Rogers from UCLA. Open field. Marino can't get him. And finally, he's tripped up as he crosses the Cleveland 40-yard line. So that Miami drive, you remember, started with a Dolphin interception of Kosar, and now the Browns take it back in their end zone.
That's a 45-yard return. And the Cleveland Browns come with 6 DBs down here. 3rd and goal. Rogers is standing right there. Once again, Minifield 31 on Clayton. Minifield does the job. The Cleveland defense is doing an outstanding job of just confusing Dan Marino as to exactly what he's facing.
Rogers has had a fabulous year. He's the first Cleveland defensive back to lead in tackles in 8 years. It's all been linebackers prior to that. All-American at UCLA, a power hitter, and a big play man as he takes it back 45 yards. And now the Browns start this drive with their best initiating field position. Kevin Mack on first down runs it to the 49-yard line where Mark Brown brought him down. See the game clock ticking down to 3:55 to go in the first half. Clay Matthews sidelined for the Browns with a groin pull. He troubled him all season long. Chip Banks wants to get right up on top of that fan.
Get in it. Put ice on me, anything. It's just debilitating heat down here.
You're a good case in point. Didn't you get a severe dehydration down here?
Yeah.
Should have been in shape, Trumpy. 2nd and 6. Pitch back. Curtis Dickey turns the corner and hits out to the 50-yard line. Only got about 1 as Mark Brown, making plays all over the field, came across with Doug Betters.
Tough choice here for the offensive coaches of the Cleveland Browns now. 3rd and 4. I think I'd run the ball as Dan Marino still trying to figure out exactly who his key is and what the defense that the Cleveland Browns are running.
Browns coming in, well trained on both sides of the ball for this game. They've run it well and have defended well against the rifle arm of Dan Marino. Play fake, Kosar, swing pass out of the backfield. And coming up with the ball is Herman Fontenot, and he is very close to a first down. He has one for Cleveland. Well, they spot the ball. It is a first down as he's inside the 45-yard line of Miami. So the Browns go into their bag of tricks, and it works.
William Judson on the tackle. Nice conservative play call by the Cleveland Browns. You fake the binder up front. And the swing pass is just like a handoff. It's a sweep with a pass. Judson on the tackle, but Fontenot does get the first down.
Herman Fontenot, the only rookie free agent on the Cleveland team. Schottenheimer's brother coaches for Bill Arnsparger at LSU and recommended him. It's first down and 10. Kevin Mack busts up the middle and takes it down to the Dolphin 33-yard line. The Browns inspired after that big play in the end zone by Don Rodgers, the interception and subsequent 45-yard return that stopped the Dolphin drive. And now Cleveland heading for the end zone.
Mack averaging 5 yards per carry throughout the season. He's deceiving both in strength and in speed. He now has 9 carries for 48 yards. And each time a running back from the Cleveland Browns fires through that line of scrimmage, boy, hands on the Cleveland Browns sideline, fire up in the air.
Browns very ready to play football, and we'll be back with Cleveland in the lead 7-3.
Blowing the Miami Dolphins defensive line way off the ball, Don.
Stamina is maybe the most important factor in winning in the Orange Bowl, though. The Dolphins are proven commodities. They can go the distance in the heat. We'll see if Cleveland can. As the Browns on first down take it down close to the 21-yard line, we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game. You watch along with us and see who it might be, as we've had a lot of big plays in this one early, not the least of which was Don Rodgers' interception in the Cleveland end zone and return of 45 yards that's initiated this drive. So we'll be back to the Orange Bowl. Cleveland in possession, leading 7-3.
Big Ford 4x4 pickup carry a Chevy pickup up this monster mountain of boulders. But now we're going to top ourselves by carrying a Chevy and towing a Dodge pickup up the same mountain. Because this year, Ford has the most powerful lineup of V8 engines, gas and diesel, of any pickup. And only Ford has independent front suspension for ground-grabbing traction. No wonder they're America's best-selling full-size pickups. The best-built American trucks are built for tough.
Driven 10 hours a week, this toy could use $500 worth of alkaline batteries. Because when an alkaline battery goes dead, you throw it away. This is a GE rechargeable. When it goes dead, you don't throw it away. You do something revolutionary. You recharge it. So why spend $500 for alkaline batteries when you could spend less than $15 for 2 GE rechargeable batteries and a charger? GE, we bring good things to life.
Barbecues and cowboy shoes, guitars and high gear. Now you're talking country, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times and Stroh's are spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times and Stroh's are spoken here.
Back at the Orange Bowl, the Browns in the lead 7-3. Dan Marino and the Dolphin offense can only look on now. After the interception of Marino, Cleveland driving down into the closed end of the Orange Bowl. Noise level is sky high. Kosar's been down this road before, though. On the run, the tip ball, beautifully done. Coming off to make the play was Bob Brudzinski. Ozzie Newsome, the intended receiver.
Boy, that was a shock. Bernie Kosar rolling out, and he is basically a drop-back passer. Watch Newsome, inside release on Brudzinski. And Brudzinski makes a great job just getting that arm out there. 6 feet 4 inches tall. And down in the trenches, Cleveland offensive line doing a pretty good job against the nose tackle of the Miami Dolphins, Mike Charles.
Third and 8. End up to Ernest Biner, open field. He's heading for the end zone. Ernest Biner's going to get down to the goal line. Is he in? He is. Touchdown, Cleveland. Third and long. They go to the run. It's a 21-yard touchdown run. And the Browns right now are stunning Don Shula and the Dolphins.
Browns doing an exceptional job of confusing the Miami Dolphins defense. In the 1985 season, there were 6 teams who had 100-yard rushers against this Dolphin defense. Cleveland Browns well on their way to having one today.
Biner Trump has gained 60 yards already on 8 carries, 7-5 a rush. And now the extra point is up and good by Matt Barr. And with 58 seconds to play in the first half, some surprising numbers are on the Orange Bowl scoreboard. It is Cleveland 14-3.
Bolden does a great job of pulling here and just leading down the field. This is one of the advantages a team has with 2 weeks to prepare for this football game. You can put some new things in. Obviously, a new formation and a new play from shotgun, something that the Cleveland Browns designed up there in Vero Beach. The Miami Dolphins probably had not seen on film, and it was just great execution. Got linebackers going one way. They come back with the counter the other way.
Biner wanted that end zone bad, and he got there for the 11th time this season. And so the Cleveland Browns, who in some of the local papers were as much as a 2-touchdown underdog, have opened up a 14-3 lead.
That's the lead blocker, Ricky Bolden. He does just enough good job, gets out there, finally makes contact. Might have been called a clip. You speak about people not taking the Cleveland Browns serious because of their 8-8 records. This game was not sold out. I don't think the fans of Miami took Cleveland seriously, that's for sure.
Game was sold out as of yesterday, and right now it's deafening silence. The Browns have taken the noise out of the Orange Bowl for the moment as Lorenzo Hampton brings it back. Felix Wright gets him, and the Dolphins will go with not much time. 53 seconds to go in the first half. They'll have it at their 27. Travis Tucker was also on the special teams play.
Dolphins are 8-0 in 1985 here in the Orange Bowl. So these fans aren't used to seeing those numbers on the scoreboard.
Raiders were the last team to beat Miami in the Orange Bowl. That was in the '84 season in a wild shootout here on a Sunday afternoon. Counting last year's playoffs, the Dolphins are 17-1 at home over the past 2 years.
Cleveland once again going with their 6 defensive backs now. 3-man rush, 2 linebackers.
Marino going right to the shotgun with 53 seconds to play in the half. 1st and 10. Nat Moore. At 7 or 8. Game clock ticking down to 42 seconds to go.
Cleveland in the prevent. They'll allow yards underneath. All these guys dropping back in coverage.
Dolphins have all 3 timeouts remaining. Another throw, another strike. And again, Nat Moore makes the reception out to the 42-yard line for a first down, and the Dolphins call timeout. We'll be back with the last 29 seconds of the first half.
Out on the town, flying around, pizzas disappear.
The Miami Dolphins averaging over 28 points a game, held to just 3 in the first half by a Cleveland Brown defense that's been drilling hard for 2 weeks for this game. And the Browns now with a 14-3 lead with 29 seconds to play in the first half. Dan Marino and the Dolphin offense unable to unload the long ball successfully in this game. It'll happen, though.
Yeah, they've gone to underneath receivers. The Cleveland Browns now running their prevent defense. They'll give up yardage in front of them, try to keep the receivers in bounds. Hope the clock gets to Miami before Miami can get to the end zone.
Dan Marino's thrown 20 times, has completed 10 for 82 yards. 1 interception. There's a hard throw and well overthrown. Duper couldn't even make a play on the ball. Marino drilled that tight fastball right into the Miami bench. Reggie Camp putting the rush on. It's interesting, Trump, also, Cleveland said teams that have had success against Marino did it by rushing fewer people and keeping more back to cover. They've been doing that.
I think they took a page from the San Francisco 49ers in last year's Super Bowl, dropping as many people back in coverage as you possibly can. Anyone who blitzes Miami and Dan Marino because of the quickness of their wide receiver just seems to get killed.
49ers dared Miami to run with just one linebacker in Super Bowl 19. Dolphins couldn't do it. Right now, though, they're setting to throw. 2nd down and 10. Joe Rose, the big play tight end, gets it down to the Cleveland 43-yard line. 16 seconds left, and the Dolphins take their 2nd timeout. They have 1 left.
That's a 17-yard reception. Once again, this prevent defense much maligned. You can see the idea of the 3-deep drop. All you're trying to do is let them catch the ball in front of you. Make sure that the guy is in front of you so you can make the tackle. They don't really care how many yards they get. The only idea for the prevent is to keep them out of the end zone. Not allow a touchdown. They'll give up a field goal, be very happy about it. But with 16 seconds left, they're betting that they can't get the ball down the field far enough for a Revay's attempt. And they don't care if they get 3 points. They just don't want a touchdown.
Why is it in so many games we see the prevent defense do such poor preventing, though? Teams seem to lose with it.
Well, I think what happens is the players realize they're in such a passive set defensively that they allow too many yards. They just begin as soon as the snap count starts backing up. And you get a block by another wide receiver and somebody breaks one loose. But with 16 seconds left here, I mean, they're 42 yards away from the end zone. I repeat, you'll give them 3 points. You don't want to give them a touchdown.
Browns getting their 2 touchdowns to build the 14-3 lead they hold with 2 very impressive drives. The Cleveland defense so far has kept Miami out of the end zone. Nat Moore. Did he have it? He did not. An 8-second show on the first half clock.
One official said he caught it. The other one said no. Bounced out of his hands. Both feet must be down inbounds and clear possession of the football before it's counted as a reception. Ball to him. The hit made. His feet are in. Now what? And that may have a point. Caught it and the ball knocked loose. Let's see if we can look at it from behind Nat Moore. Is that a catch?
Dan Marino.
Looks like he has it.
Official says no, though. Marino with 98 touchdown passes in his first 3 years, but none today. This is 24th throw of the game. Makes a hit. Tony Nathan is down in field goal range now. 2 seconds left, and the Dolphins execute nicely. Get the timeout, and Revay's and the field goal unit come out.
This will be a 47-yard attempt. The prevent worked.
Revay's hit a career-long 51-yarder, the first Dolphin possession when they took a 3-0 lead. Marino and the Dolphin offense started the season slowly. Marino was a holdout. He did show up for the first game with Houston, but Miami lost it. And, of course, Mark Duper missed virtually half the season with a leg fracture. That allowed defenses to double cover Mark Clayton, so he didn't have much of a year till Duper got back.
True. Miami was 5-4 at one point in this season, counted out by everyone except Don Shula. Then they win 7 straight. And once again, for the 13th time in 16 years, they either won outright or shared the Eastern Division title.
Marty Schottenheimer, a defensive specialist. He was a linebacker at the University of Pittsburgh and with the Buffalo Bills was defensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns when he moved up to the head coaching job midway through the '84 season.
He's worked up a sweat there on the sideline, and he's prepared this defense very well for the Miami Dolphins. So far, Miami's been confused.
Schottenheimer said, we don't care who thinks we belong or don't belong. Everybody that's in the playoffs, 10 teams start out 0-0. We have as good a shot at anybody. He said our goal is to go the distance to win the Super Bowl. That'll take some doing. The Revay's isn't close. So the first half ends with a miss hit by the usually reliable Quad Revay. And the Browns lead at halftime 14-3. NFL halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. The first half numbers all Cleveland's way, despite the Browns being the decided underdog. Look at the rushing yardage, a critical statistic in any football game.
Yeah, average yards per carry for the Cleveland Browns in the first half, just astounding. Close to 6.5 yards per carry. Everything is going Cleveland's way. Not only offensively, Don, But Miami has not figured out what sequence of defenses Cleveland is using. This is a confused Miami football team. One of the few times I've seen a Don Shula team not really know what's happening.
Well, you know, it's interesting talking to some of the Browns people at halftime, Trump. The last time Cleveland played here was in 1972, the Dolphins' perfect season. The Browns led with just moments to play, a couple of minutes to play, 14-13, and the Dolphins ripped off a big play, won the game, continued their unbeaten season right through the Super Bowl. We know at the Marino explosion on offense, this is far from over.
Oh, yeah, there's no question that this team can break loose at any moment. But in the first half, the 3 wide receivers of the Miami Dolphins have a grand total of 2 catches. Those 2 catches by Nat Moore, and those 2 catches came in the last 46 seconds of the half against the prevent defense. Everything is going Cleveland's way. Now, as to what Miami is going to have to do in the second half, one, this first drive by Miami is absolutely critical because they got to figure out what Cleveland is doing. And they have to, I don't think they have to run the ball. I think Marino had a bad first half confidence-wise. I mean, when he finally got him down there, he throws the interception.
Another big factor is Cleveland's ability to run the ball. Miami has to stop that or they don't get their offense on the field. 144 yards to 24 is astounding.
No question about it. Of course, we still haven't heard the final injury report on Jackie Shipp, which is a big factor because they got Bud Brown in there, and he's got a bad ankle. So things are not going Miami's way. Now, in talking to a couple of Miami Dolphins before the game, the last team that tried to use 2 tight ends and run the ball up the gut at them was Seattle 2 years ago in a playoff game that you and I saw Seattle run all over the Miami Dolphins. This is the Miami Dolphins' worst fear realized. Be down 14-3, not be able to throw the ball very well in the first half, and have your opponent sky high. Now we got to find out if the Cleveland Browns, a relatively young team with a lot of new people playing, can deliver the knockout punch.
Well, as we've seen enough of the Dolphins and just the numbers, the way they stand up, winning over 80% of the time in the Orange Bowl, losing once in 18 games over the last 2 seasons in playoff time also. Marino's right arm is the key, but the Browns with that dominant rushing game today, keeping Marino and the offense off the field. He did throw a lot of balls in the first half, but Cleveland's defense well schooled and prepared for him.
And it's just the alignment. Normally a team will give you over a 6 or an 8 game run about the same defenses. In the 2 weeks that the Cleveland Browns have been preparing for this football game, they've obviously broken the record. They've changed tendencies, and a great deal of credit. All the credit must go to Marty Schottenheimer. I mean, he sold these players on the fact that we can win this football game if you do it this way. The first half, that's as good a half defensively as I've seen any team play against Miami.
NBC statistician Ross Schneiderman pointing out front that all 3 Cleveland's prime running backs are individually out-rushing the entire Miami team in this game. 144 yards rushing for Cleveland in the first half, 6.5 a carry. The Dolphins with 24 yards rushing.
Tony Nathan has 6 catches for Miami, and the wide receivers are totally shut down for the Dolphins. Changes got to be made.
Ready to start the second half. Cleveland will kick off to Miami. Lorenzo Hampton, a rookie from Florida, the #1 draft choice of the Dolphins, awaiting the kickoff of Matt Barr. Spinner is going to carry inside the 5, and here comes Hampton. Not done till he gets out on the reverse of the field to the 33-yard line. A 30-yard return. Marino and the Dolphin offense come out. See how the teams broke down defensively. The Dolphins having problems stopping the run all season long. 23 out of 28 teams and 23 overall in rushing. Not what you'd expect from a 12-4 record, but they know how to win games, particularly here at the Orange Bowl. And we're just starting the third quarter with the big underdogs, the Cleveland Browns, stunning the Dolphins at the moment, 14-3. Now 2 tight ends open the third quarter on offense for Miami. They go to the power game. Woody Bennett got a couple out to about the 35-yard line. Reggie Camp, defensive left end, made the knockdown.
Don, I noticed Curtis Weathers. There's the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, Chuck Studley, on the sideline. Much maligned this season. His defense really hasn't done the job. Not sure it's Chuck's fault. Notice that Curtis Weathers still playing linebacker. Clay Matthews still out.
80 degrees, maybe higher than that now. Sun beating down on the Orange Bowl. Dan Marino on 2nd and 8. A lot of contact on tight end Bruce Hardy by inside backer Eddie Johnson, but it was a clean.
Hit the official. Watch this matchup once again. Minifield, graduate of Louisville. Clayton, a graduate of Louisville. No chance whatsoever. Ball's not bouncing Miami's way. That hit the official right in the back.
Dolphins with a 7-game win streak after they were 5-4 through their first 9 games and clearly on the ropes. Now they're back on the rope today in this first of their playoff games. Maybe their last unless they can get it back. 4-man rush, and Marino's going to get away from it and get the ball away, and he makes a hit. What a play by Dan Marino as he got Tony Nathan. There's also a penalty marker down.
That's a towel, Don.
That's a Cleveland towel. All right.
No flag. Cleveland had 6 DBs in the ball game. That meant 3 guys rushing. They still got pressure on Dan Marino. Sam Clancy, and he desperately threw the ball out to the sideline there. Watch Clancy, 91, gets outside. Nathan takes a heck of a hit. Miami still hasn't figured this defense out, Don.
Didn't get enough for the first down on 4th and 6. Reggie Roby is in to punt again. 14-3 Cleveland, 3rd quarter. What a shot. Wow. Ryan Brennan lets it hit, and it hops into the end zone, so the Browns will get it at their 20, 62 yards into the end zone. That's in the line of scrimmage. He was 15 yards back when he hit it.
If there is one thing that position you don't want to play on this punt coverage team is the outside guys. They double team him, keep him from getting down there. They're the only ones that can release off the line of scrimmage before the ball is punted. Cleveland's doing a great job all over the field, Don.
We'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game. The Browns come out of this. A lot of game balls are going to go to the defense.
Start with 2 tight ends again, just as they started the game.
Kevin Mack. And the Dolphins stop the run. Jay Brophy shot the gap, made the hit, a loss on the play inside the 20-yard line of Cleveland.
You wonder, even though the Dolphins are playing in their home stadium, as much time as this defense was on the field in the first half, will it at some point show in the Miami Dolphins? You don't get as tired playing offense as you do playing defense. It takes more energy to react than it does to act.
2nd and just over 10. We're talking about rock concert decibel level of this crowd right now. Trying to throw off Kosar in the Cleveland offense. Hines. Everything he's got, and it's only good for a yard as Brophy took on the run again. Jay Brophy, another Miami Dolphin who grew up a Cleveland Brown fan. He grew up in Akron, Ohio, near Cleveland.
Report from the Dolphin bench. Jackie Shipp does not have any broken bones. Not sure what the injury is. Don't know if he'll be back yet today. Now this is a spot where Cleveland can run so very well. The pass defense is in for Miami. This is when Finer has broken the long ones.
3rd and 8. Throwing a catch to Clarence Weathers. He turns the corner. He has a first down for Cleveland. So on 3rd and 8, Kosar goes to his speed receiver, Clarence Weather, and he outruns the corner and gets ahead for 12 yards and a first down.
They've missed this young man when he was hurt, too. Watch the acceleration once he catches the football. 28 yards per catch. That's that's Blackwood trying to make the tackle with that injured ankle. Foot speed-wise, he can't win that battle.
Clarence Weathers out since the Seattle game when he was knocked out. He pointed out averaging 28 yards a catch for the Browns in the regular season. Caught 16 balls. For the run they go, and Ernest Biner breaks it up the middle. Across midfield, Biner at 2:15. two Dolphins out, screened him away, and knocked them both down. They tripped over each other, and Ernest Biner breaks it 66 yards for a Cleveland touchdown.
That's the longest run of the year by a Cleveland running back.
Tell you, there's some people down here from Ohio, because when Cleveland scores, there's a lot of noise also.
That's also the longest run of the season against the Miami Dolphins. 120. Look at that per carry average, 12.8 yards.
So now the Dolphins, Trump, have to go to about page 11 of the playbook and start calling for the long stuff. Although in their offense, that might be on page 1. They got to change the attack, though. They need points in a hurry. They need big plays, do the Dolphins, as they now trail 21-3 with 11:22 to play in the third quarter.
That oxygen won't help, but a block of ice will. It's a simple power sweep that the Cleveland Browns run. We'll watch from behind the defense. Harry Holt, number 81, gets a great block on the inside. Dan Fike, the guard who is playing his 39th ball game in 12 months today. Biner breaks it back, and both these running backs, Biner and Mack, have surprising speed. There's Weathers with the bump that knocks two guys off. A 61-yard touchdown run.
Matt Barr kicks off again now for Cleveland. A spinner downfield, Lorenzo Hampton. Knocked down at the 27. Let's watch the 66-yard touchdown run again.
Holt coming down the line of scrimmage, gets Beaucamper out of the way. There you see Fike, 69. Biner with great field vision cuts it back. There's nobody there. Weathers, the little guy, kind of an excuse me block. Did you say 66 yards?
66.
Not bad. And the Browns sideline, you got it, just the way we drew it up.
Now the Dolphins have to start firing all out. 11:14 to go in the third quarter, but they're down 21-3. With a run, and the Browns stuff it. Miami fans want some passing. That's Ernest Biner, who just broke a Cleveland all-time record for rushing yards in a playoff game. The record set by Jim Brown in the 1964 NFL championship game. That was the Browns' last NFL title.
I think Don Shula's biggest worry was the ability of the Cleveland Browns to just run right through his defense through the first half. And this point in the game, that worry realized. This has not been a happy birthday for Don Shula to this point.
56 today is Coach Shula. Aging fast, though. Cleveland Browns have something to do with that. Playing the game of their season are the Cleveland Browns. But a long way to go, and here's a penalty marker down.
They were about to let the 30-second clock expire. Marino takes timeout. Things not going well for the Dolphins.
Orange Bowl, Dan Marino firing. And the Browns split the defender. And a penalty marker comes in. They go on the defense.
They're going to call an elbow to the head.
Pat Haggerty, the referee, making sure, as with 10:05 to play, the Dolphins are going to get a big pickup.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Cleveland. That's an elbow to the head. It was against Clayton. Marino is throwing this into double coverage, Don. It's that double rotation zone. Corners up, safety's out. Rodgers with an elbow right to the head. And see, Cleveland can't lose its cool now. They're up. There's no reason to rub it in. Just play your defense and don't do something stupid. That was unnecessary.
And it gives the Dolphins a first down at their 37-yard line. 10:05 to go, third quarter. Miami on the ropes, trailing 21-3. Chip Banks in pursuit of Marino. Lets her rip on the run. Minifield has coverage, and it's incomplete. All the way down at the 15-yard line.
Now, once again, the Browns all season long have relied on the bump and run. Not today. Minifield doesn't bite on the out move. He is stride for stride with Mark Clayton, and why Danny Marino continues to try to throw it into that bump and run coverage, unless he's just trying for an interference call, is beyond me.
What were you saying? They both went to Louisville together. Minifield said he couldn't beat me then, and he still can't.
He hasn't today either. Clayton does not have a catch.
Not yet, anyway. Miami offense can go boom, though, in a hurry.
That's a discouraged offense in that huddle right now.
We've seen too much of these guys. They'll be back. They've got a lot of getting back to do. Down 21-3. Dan Marino on 2nd and 10. Throwing a strike. Looks like a first down. Let's see where the spot is. It's out to the 47. It'll be very close. Eddie Johnson made the tackle on tight end Bruce Hardy of the Dolphins.
Eddie Johnson on the coverage. That's man-to-man coverage on the tight end. Obviously, Cleveland has said if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to throw it to the tight ends and Nathan. And you can see that bump and run coverage and a free safety. Hardy runs a good pattern. Eddie Johnson will give him 10 yards. They're not going to let Clayton and Duper get it deep.
They might start going that way more. They're starting to catch some balls, the tight end. 3 for Bruce Hardy for 30 yards.
That's it. And Moore only has 2 catches, and that was in the last 46 seconds of the first half.
Clayton and Duper came in combined with over 100 receptions, and Duper missed half the season. Almost a pickoff coming up on the ball with Scott Nicholas, the inside linebacker from the University of Miami, who's starting for the Browns in place of injured Tom Cousineau.
Watch Minifield, this time on Duper. You're allowed 1 bump inside the 5-yard range. I think the Cleveland defenders are they are taking every advantage out there until the officials throw a flag. They're going to be very aggressive, and that's rerouted the Miami Dolphin receivers. They've been no factor. That's wide receivers, no factor in today's game to this point.
The Browns worked 5 days in Vero Beach, Florida, but today they're playing in 80-degree temperatures. We'll see how they go in the late rounds. Dan Marino on 2nd and 10. Throwing a catch. Clayton has his first reception. It's good for a Miami first down to the 38-yard line of Cleveland. A 15-yard gain.
That time bump and run, man coverage. Dixon on Clayton. You see the little area between them. Oh, grab of the shirt. Well-timed throw. I mean, you got to give that one to Miami, but Cleveland's there in coverage. They've not been fooled. They've not bid on the out moves. These cornerbacks have covered them very well.
Dan Marino on 1st and 10. Screen near side. Tony Nathan. Blockers are there, but so are Cleveland Browns. A knockdown for a loss of 2 yards. Eddie Johnson makes a hit.
Cleveland is outplaying Miami.
It's a great second look at it now from the reverse angle.
Miami obviously going with a late page in their playbook. Watch how fast these linebackers recover. Johnson and Nicholas there on the stop for no gain.
Marty Schottenheimer says of Eddie Johnson, he plays like he's possessed. Only one of the starting backers when Cousineau's in that wasn't a high #1 draft choice. As right now, Dan Marino on 2nd and 10 fires and hits Nat Moore down to the 29-yard line and very close to another Miami first down. Game clock winding down in the 3rd quarter to 7:20 and running.
First half we saw Nat Moore run nothing but out patterns with this single coverage. This time with Felix Wright in coverage, he fakes the out, breaks back into the inside. Miami showing good patience here. Marino likes to throw the ball deep. I think he's been told by Don Strock and Don Shula and David Shula, quit throwing it deep, throw it underneath. That's the first time I think he's hit a primary receiver all day long, Don. All the rest have been outlet receivers.
Miami gets the first down at the Cleveland 28-yard line. Don Shula's Dolphins moving the ball now. Beneficiaries of that personal foul call against Cleveland, which gave Miami a first down. Dan Marino, their quarterback, with 78 touchdown passes in the last 2 regular seasons to lead the NFL both years. He had 30 this year. The all-time record 48 last year. But the Dolphins have not been in the Cleveland end zone yet with the ball. 21-3 Cleveland, 3rd quarter. takes it down to the 17-yard line. First down, Miami, a 12-yard gain. Al Gross saved it from going the distance.
In the design of a defense, linebackers are taught that you are not to drop in coverage until the quarterback passes the running back. Then you know he can't give it to him. That delay held those linebackers at the line of scrimmage just long enough for the offensive lineman to run a nice little draw trap.
Dan Marino on 1st and 10. Steps in, drills, and hits Dan Johnson, and he's down to the 6-yard line, very close to yet another Miami Dolphin first down. And again, it was the strong safety Al Gross who saved it from going in. If but for the moment, as the Dolphins right now are going to go 1st and goal if they get a first down here. They do. 1st and goal, Miami.
Marino now 18 of 34, 159 yards. He's gone away from the wide receivers, going to the tight end, underneath the coverage. This is where Cleveland has come with their 6 defensive backs. The last time they were down here, 1, 2, 3. Now this is a standard set. 34 defense, 4 DBs.
This is the 11th play of the Miami drive. 1st and goal from the 6. Hardy had it and Hardy lost it. He was popped by Don Rogers, who you remember made that big interception in the Cleveland end zone in the 2nd quarter. And the Browns quickly took it down the field after his 45-yard return and scored a touchdown.
Browns come with the blitz. You see Eddie Johnson inside. Marino fades a little bit. That's almost a touchdown.
Tomorrow on NBC Sports, it's the Raiders and the Patriots from Los Angeles. The winner advancing to the American Conference Championship game. Cleveland should win, and the Raiders should win. Cleveland would go to Los Angeles. If the Patriots should win and Cleveland should win, the Patriots would go to Cleveland for the AFC Championship game.
5 DBs now for Cleveland, Don.
Don't count Miami out. Down 21-3, a throw and an incompletion in the end zone. It's a clean play. The Browns strike as the ball arrives on Nat Moore's hands.
Felix Wright, man-to-man coverage. Don Rogers, the free safety, standing there. Moore runs the inside pattern. Wright, for the most part, has done a great job, although he allows too much cushion there. If not for Rogers, that's 6 points. And that's Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
And I know this, Trump, just into the game is Joe Rose, tight end for Miami. Marino loves him down close. Steve Crosby, one of the assistant coaches with Cleveland. He's the assistant head coach, spent time here with Miami. I was talking to him yesterday, said if they get down close, we know Marino likes Rose. We're going to double him every time.
More in the backfield, Don.
This is Marino's 37th pass of the game coming out. And Marino looks. He fires. He's got Nat Moore for a touchdown. Miami's in the end zone for the first time. It's a 21-9 game.
Moore's 8th touchdown catch. Watch what he does. He runs the out fake. Wright bites on it. Marino's got time to stay with it. That's as tough a drive as Miami's had to orchestrate to get in the end zone this season.
Well done by the Dolphins. 13th play was a lucky one for Miami as they get it in on the throw to Nat Moore, and the extra point by Reveiz is up and good. And so with 5:13 to play now in the third quarter, it's a 21-10 game. Penalty marker down on the point after.
Offside. Defense. Point is good. We're penalized on the kickoff.
Watch once again. Felix Wright, 22, just out of the picture. Moore runs an outstanding pattern. That's that veteran in him. His 8th touchdown catch of the '85 season.
Your resume is fine, but the interview's on the line.
Today's
here. Nat Moore was talking to the official on the sideline about the contact. For some strange reason, Felix Wright has no help here. Nat Moore runs an outstanding pattern. That's that 12 years of experience.
His 8th touchdown reception of the season. And Nat Moore gets Miami to within 11. Reves booms the kickoff right into row C.
Now we got a report from the Dolphins bench that Jay Brophy is having his blood pressure checked and will be back. Dolphins have lost some linebackers. Shipp is out. We haven't seen him. He's back in there now. Jackie Shipp is back in there for the first time since the first quarter. Done several times this season. We've talked about emotion, momentum in a football game. Now the Browns need an answering drive.
This is where the cool of Bernie Kosar has to come into play. The closed end of the stadium at the Orange Bowl. People up. Noise level deafening. He could have stepped away, but...
No. He's talking to Brennan. He did the right thing. I tell you what, Bernie Kosar, with all the pressure on him in this game, he has not folded. He saw the wrong motion run by Brennan, called the timeout. That was not the noise in the stadium.
We'll be back to the Orange Bowl after Bernie gets some counsel at the sideline.
Best and brightest.
This is a charged timeout, but Bernie was not worried about the crowd. He was mad at Brian Brennan for running the wrong motion. The crowd thinks they did their job.
Dickey. As again, the Cleveland Browns run at the right side of the Miami Dolphin defense. Safety Glenn Blackwood came up and made the play. Dickey's running 9,200. It weighs 227 pounds.
They prefer he run that 9,200 north and south, though, not east and west. Be stopped by the goal line, not the sideline.
They're getting a lot of runs, though, Trump. Starting out east and west and then turning upfield.
Average yards per carry by the Cleveland Browns today. College statistics. It's unbelievable. Look at that. That's amazing.
It's like the Oklahoma Sooners.
And this is not the wishbone.
Now Kosar standing back from his center, Mike Babb. Ernest Biner is exhorting the crowd to keep it up. We'll just wait for you. That's not what you want to do. We'll be here a long time.
A lot of teams, Don, have gone to what they call the silent count.
Yeah.
Everybody watches the ball. The quarterback says absolutely nothing. When the center's ready, he snaps it. What the official, Pat Haggerty, is saying, he's telling the guy who runs the 30-second clock, don't start it. They got all the time in the world. They can stand here until Wednesday.
Now the Dolphins are trying to quiet the crowd. This crowd's as loud as the night we were here when the Chicago Bears came in, and that I thought was as loud as anything could get.
Well, they had a lot of noise saved up from the first half, Don. Newsom.
Whoa, almost a big hit. Running the flag pattern we've been waiting for it was Clarence Weathers. That was a well-thrown ball.
And I'll tell you what, Ozzie Newsom was wide open over the middle. This is part of Bernie Kosar's learning period. Weathers' outstanding speed.
Could have had this.
And this ball is thrown right on the money. There's no question about that. Hand on shoulder by Judson. They let him get away with it. And I'll tell you what, Ozzie Newsom was wide open for a first down over the middle. He was motioning to the sideline. I'm open. Get it to me. Call the same play.
Now the crowd kicks into that big noise level again. 3rd down and 7 for Cleveland. Blitz, and Bernie Kosar gets away from it, but he's too high with his throw, and Cleveland has to punt the ball. And now Old Mo has changed in this game, and it's back with Miami, although the Dolphins are down 21-10. Mac Moore putting the heat on.
They got him to scramble, and the Browns could not answer.
Have we seen some games or what in this ball yard?
All good, too.
Gossett doesn't hit that one far. And And it takes a Dolphin bounce high up, so Miami will take over very close to midfield. Just a 26-yard punt.
Don Jensen almost blocked that punt.
Miami has it when we come back. Back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, the 12th man making its presence felt here. The crowd.
It took them a while. They had a lot of stored up energy from the first half where they had nothing to make noise about. And that last drive, I think it was a factor. People in Miami have been reading the papers about the Miami Hurricanes being intimidated by the Tennessee fans in the Sugar Bowl. Now they're trying to make their presence known here in the Orange Bowl today.
Miami's right back in the race if they can take it in on this drive, trailing Cleveland 21-10. Dan Marino throwing a strike to Tony Nathan down to the 42-yard line of Cleveland. And for Dixon made the play, but Marino starts to find the mark.
Now, the one thing you notice about Cleveland, they've gone away from the 6 defensive back set that they used in the first half. I think a lot of teams at times when you get a lead that's 21-3, you start going into a shell. You become conservative. Don't give them the big play. Don't take the chances we took in the first half. Look, they still got just the 4 defensive backs.
Tony Nathan on a 2nd down and almost 4 carry takes it close to the 40-yard line. Game clock down to 3:45 and running. Eddie Johnson made the play. A lot of times these games here in left in the 3rd quarter, 3:39. These games in the heat of South Florida turn into championship fights in the heat. Knockout punch sometimes comes late, and it's the loss of body fluids more than the right hand that takes the fighter out. And a lot of teams have lost games down here when they just couldn't make the play late in the game.
Now Cleveland comes with their 6 DBs. No, that's not right. I think they got. No, it's not right. This is a goal line situation.
They got 6 down linemen. Didn't help. Davenport, a rookie running back from Louisville, crashes for a 1st down.
This is 2-down area, no question about it. Even if they don't make the 1st down, well, they do get the 1st down. Watch Hardy coming in motion. This is a kind of the new wave of the NFL. You bring one of those guys in motion and they trap somebody from the blind side. I mean, with a big 1st down pickup there.
Brown team en route to the AFC Central Championship has lost some of the most heartbreaking games. The Raiders beat them in the closing seconds. Steelers beat them on the last play in a field goal. Lost in overtime one, but still came back to win their division as Bruce Hardy makes the reception down close to the 30-yard line.
He's out too. Oh, he gets up.
He came to.
Once again, that matchup, Eddie Johnson single coverage on Hardy. Gross makes the hit. Hardy slow getting up. 4 catches now, 37 yards. He's been the big guy in his 2nd half.
Marino doing a lot of throwing, 39 passes, and we're still in the 3rd quarter. Bernie Kosar's only thrown 12. 1 for a touchdown. He's hit 6 of the 12. An interception each way. Busted it. Look at that power. And look at Ron Davenport. He's into the end zone for a touchdown, a 31-yard run. And that is the 14th touchdown of the season for this rookie. Nathan gave the big block from. So the Dolphins make it happen fast as they go 48 yards in 5 plays. The last 31 on the touchdown run by the rookie Ron Davenport.
At 6'2", 230 pounds, watch him run over Rodgers. I mean, absolutely pancaked him. Walsh says the last 15 yards into the end zone, slam dunk, 6 points. We're in this ball game. Watch him put that inside shoulder down. Good pull, bam.
right there. Weathers goes down. Rogers goes down. Davenport goes in.
One more time.
Whoa. That is standing up a hitter. Waltz, go ahead, Waltz. Yeah. It gives me chills.
The Orange Bowl leads any football league in excitement this week. On Wednesday night, the Oklahoma Sooners winning college football's national championship with their victory over Penn State in the Orange Bowl Classic. And today, the Miami Dolphins, down 21-3, have rallied back to trail Cleveland 21-17 in this divisional playoff game.
And they have made adjustments. Championship teams, winning teams make adjustments. Miami Dolphins going at halftime. They get it to Bruce Hardy. Run the ball a little more with a power sweep. Right back in this ball game.
Reminiscent perhaps of that 81 San Diego playoff game, although the Chargers in the end won that 41-38. Glenn Young. Look out as Glenn Young gets out to the 42-yard line of Cleveland, a 34-yard return. Now the Browns offense has to start to take control again. Miami putting in the end zone their last two possessions to come from a 21-3 deficit to where the Dolphins now trail by just 4 points. 1:30 to play in the third quarter. What a football game.
No reason for Cleveland to do anything different than they've done to this point. Keep giving it to Mack. Keep giving it to Biner. Keep hammering it up in there. They got to be a little bit tired about now. They're not used to this heat and humidity. They got to suck it up.
Jackie Shipp banged up earlier, back in the game as the Browns go to the run and advance the ball to their 46-yard line. Hugh Green was on the play.
Don, look, one of the things that the Dolphins have done adjustment-wise defensively has moved Mike Charles off the nose. And you see Bolden and Lilja do a great job parking him, but then that means that there are two linebackers there to make the tackle.
We're not sure if Jay Brophy will be back because he was dinged a stunning blow to the head. He's all right, but they're not sure if he's ready to come back in. Arnie Kosar says, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I remember when I was down in New Orleans when Jim Taylor came in from Green Bay to negotiate his first contract with the Saints. So all his answer was to the negotiator, God, give him a number. I can't hear you. Second and 6. Up the gut goes Biner, but a penalty marker comes in. Thrown by the referee from behind the play. Holding against Cleveland.
For all the running they've done, that's the first holding penalty against either team today. Look at Marty Schottenheimer over there selling. You're not tired. You're not tired. You're very comfortable.
Now, Bob Trumpy, you've lived this heat in a game condition when you played for the Bengals.
Holding number 77, offense, still second down.
As long as you're sweating down here, you're in good shape. Ricky Bolden on the tackle, at the tackle on the hold, gets his arm inside of Kim Bocamper and holds him up so he can't get over there and make the tackle. The officials catch him, and it's a 15-yard penalty. This heat and humidity down here, when you stop sweating, that's when you start worrying. I mean, you get a headache, you can't see straight, it just drops you to your knees.
Bernie Kosar can handle it, though. This is where he played his winning college football. Kevin Mack looks for room to dance, but he finds only Dolphins on defense as the game clock is going to wind out in the third quarter. Hugh Green, another base.
Cleveland has run to the left side 95% of the time today.
That's the end of the third quarter. 21-17 Cleveland. Back after these.
Family of fine cars would like to introduce you to another fine family, a lot like yours, on the move, coming and going. Each family member has a distinct personality.
Dad!
And a Ford to match. There's a Ford for luxury lovers, a Ford for comfort, sporty Fords, and a Ford for fun, too.
Dad!
I'll get it, Dad. All right.
See your South Florida Ford dealer for the Ford that's just right for your family.
Back at the Orange Bowl, everybody's here, including Don Johnson, Crockett from Miami Vice. Good to have you with us, Don. What do you think of these Dolphins?
Well, they were a little flat in the first half, but I think they're going to come back. I'm hoping they will.
Man is bulletproof. He's been shot at more times than any man alive. They haven't hit him yet. Right now, Bernie Kosar goes from the shotgun on 3rd and 14. Markers down. So is Bernie back at the 33-yard line.
George Little gets him down. They won't take that penalty.
5-yard loss on the play as it was.
That's the first sack of the day by the Miami Dolphins. I question Cleveland running this shotgun in this situation. The Miami Dolphin fans are fired up, making a lot of noise. Even though it's part of your game plan, right now you want efficiency. I think if... I thought the blimp landed there on the 50-yard line. I think if he goes from under center, regardless of what the play is called or what you had planned for that situation, Browns would be a lot better.
Dolphins have been in the end zone their last 2 possessions. They're going to get it back again with 14:40 to play in the game. Underdog Cleveland leading 21-17. Line drive to Vigorito. And the tackle made at the 37-yard line. Ernest Biner came down and got him. A 10-yard return, though, by Tommy Vigorito. Tomorrow, the road to Super Bowl 20 on NBC Sports continues as the Patriots go into Los Angeles to play the LA Raiders at the Coliseum. NFL 85 with Bob Costas gets underway at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. Right now in Miami, we have 14:30 left to play in the game. The Dolphins trail, but the Dolphins have the ball, and they have momentum now. And a crowd of 68,000 rooting them on. Actually, 76,000 today. They've averaged 68,000 this season. Tony Nathan gets ahead for about 6 out to the 42-yard line of Miami. Don Rogers got him.
Miami certainly have made the adjustments. Look at the time of possession change. 14:13 to go in the 4th. They were down by almost 5 minutes at the half. Right now, I guarantee you the Cleveland Browns players are breathless.
Well, you ended up in a hospital down there, didn't you, when you got done?
And a headache for about 10 days. But I mean breathless because Miami is just, they're a wave now. They just keep rolling up to the beach, and the beach is the Cleveland Browns goal line. They're tired.
Browns can handle that zero stuff on Lake Erie, but it's tough in January to come from the north down to Miami, and the Dolphins have started to take over, but they trail Cleveland 21-17. Back to the run, and tough Tony Nathan is knocked down on a fine play by outside linebacker Chip Banks. One of the best in football. He'll start in the Pro Bowl for a 3rd time later this month, and this is just his 4th year in the league from Southern California.
The Browns coming back now with their 6 defensive backs. Now that leaves Eddie Johnson, 51, man-on-man with whichever tight end is in the ball game. Joe Rose, number 80. That's where they've gone in this situation. Eddie Johnson's on Tony Nathan this time.
Marino stands in and lets it rip. The Browns hold. They'll get it back on a punt. A 3rd and 5 play, and this time the Dolphins don't connect. So with 13 minutes to go, the Cleveland defense rises up, breaks up the play. Hanford Dixon separated the receiver from the ball, and the Browns drop back their punt returner, Brian Brennan.
Cornerbacks of the Cleveland Browns have been outstanding. Look at that pass thrown by Dan. That was a duck. That was going sideways instead of around and around.
Reggie Roby hit his last one, you'll recall, 62 yards into the end zone. He's big, 240. He gets every ounce into every boot. This is a line drive. Brennan fields it, living dangerously. Penalty marker down. It's going to go against Cleveland again.
Flag's going to be on Felix Wright. A couple of penalties in this second half have really hurt Cleveland. Extended a drive for Miami that resulted in points.
Illegal use of the hand. Number 22.
Pushed him in the back. That's senseless. And now the field position is terrible. Half the distance to the goal. They'll start 1st and 90.
And we'll be back right after this. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Divisional playoff game. The Cleveland Browns, in some estimates, were a 2-touchdown underdog in this game with the Dolphins. The Browns have not played here since '72. None of the current Cleveland players or Coach Marty Schottenheimer was with the team then. But President Art Modell, the Cleveland owner, surely remembers it in the disappointment. That was the perfect season of Don Shula and the Dolphins. Cleveland was leading in the 4th quarter. Miami came back to win. Cleveland's leading in the 4th quarter now, 21-17, but back in their own end. 1st and 10. They've got to run the ball here. Biner, who broke the 66-yard touchdown run, gets out across the 15-yard line. Got ahead for about 8.
Not only 2 of Cleveland's drives today have started outside their own 20. This one starts at their own 10. And once again, they run right at Harry Holt. They run away from Ozzie Newsome. They think Holt's a much better blocker. 12:25. Cleveland would like a 9-minute drive here. 4 yards a carry.
12:18 to play. The clock is running. It's an eternity note for the Browns, who have to be wearing down in the humidity and heat of South Florida. Biner, big and tough, and he hits to the 20, and he looks like he has a Cleveland first down, and they keep the clock ticking, and they move the yard markers.
1985, the Cleveland Browns led the NFL in fumbles lost. To this point in the ball game, they've not lost a fumble. Been a big factor for them keeping control of this football game. Certainly glad we're in Miami and not Cleveland. Wouldn't you agree?
I tell you, Sunday, this January 12th, Cleveland could be the place to be. That would take a major upset in the West Coast. The Patriots would have to beat the bad California boys, the Raiders, if Cleveland comes out of this, and that's a long way from being final. End off to Kevin Mack, looking for a read, threatening to cut back. He just takes it on a wide sweep and advances the ball out to the 24. Got about 4 yards. Brzezinski and Ship, linebackers on the stop for Miami.
The thing about this Mack kid, he gets hit at the line of scrimmage, carries tacklers 3 yards up the field, ends up being a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, he's big, 6 feet 215. Biner's the little bit shorter, 5'10", 215. Both 1,000 yards rushers, and as you pointed out, Trump, the only 2 teams in the past to have 2,000-yard rushers have both gone on to win Super Bowls, the 72 Dolphins and the 76 Steelers. Ernest Biner. And there's a marker in. Somebody got his face mask, so more yards will be tacked down. Looked like an inadvertent face mask, so it'll probably be 5 yards.
Personal foul, face mask, 15-yard penalty.
Oh, they're calling intentional. 15.
Can't really see whose arm that is.
Looks like Langford.
No, that's Jackie Ship. He was grasping for anything he could get to get him on the ground. There are 2 penalties. Inadvertent, which is 5 yards. Advertent, which is 15 yards.
Yeah, it was Ship, right.
Ship made no attempt to get his hand off the face mask. Good call on the reverse angle.
Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the National Football League, is here today, as are 76,000, almost all of them backing Miami, but the Browns have a surprisingly large number of supporters. They've been in the end zone 3 times, and they've created a lot of stir when they hit. 21-17 Cleveland, 4th quarter.
Sweep this way.
Markers down, stops play with 10:09 to go in the game.
Now that'll make it 1st and 15. They were coming with the sweep this way. Langhorne was coming in motion. Lilja, number 62, moved too quickly.
Starting to build up. Dolphins perennially the least penalized team. Miami was not the least penalized team this season. For the first time in 10 years, Washington had 3 fewer. They're on 1st and 15, and they get it back, at least the penalty yardage. Ball's advanced out to the 45-yard line as Cleveland, huddling at their leisure, running the clock, getting set to load up and fire out the run again. Good Ernest Biner. What a day.
About 10 yards a carry, isn't it?
Yep.
Not a bad average.
You got 66 on 1 touchdown pop.
Those 2 running backs look tired, but if they lose this game, they'll have plenty of time to rest, so they got to give it their all.
Biner turns upfield and hits out to the 47-yard line of Miami. That's going to bring up 3rd down and about 2 as the Browns go back to their power football and make it work with the game on the line.
Interesting thing about these 2 running backs is each blocks for each other very well. They are very unselfish. And that time Mack did a good job leading for Biner. Jackie Shipp on the tackle, but 3rd and short.
Dolphins send 4 new people into the game.
That's the goal line defense. They're bringing all their big people in there. They want it stopped here.
7th play of the drive. 3rd down and 2 for Cleveland. Browns leading by a 4-point margin. Pitch back. Knocked down for a loss. Making the play was Mac Moore, a defensive end and all-Canada player, and Team Trump that Kosar hesitated a little bit in his pitch.
Busted play. I think he expected Curtis Dickey to be swinging out there. Watch, he brings the pitch back. That's a busted play. I think Curtis Dickey went to sleep on that one. They wanted his speed to the corner for the 1st down. What a time for a mistake.
Now Gossett, who's been up and down punting the ball, hits a knuckler high, not too deep. Kozlowski fumbles the ball. Football on the field. Let's see who gets it. Cleveland thinks they do. You got to get an official to agree.
How can he find out?
Down there with the gnashing of teeth. Lose fingers down in that pile, can't you?
If they had guns, they'd be shooting at each other. That's how nasty it is in there.
Miami keeps the ball. Just a 29-yard punt by Gossett. His punting has hurt the Browns at different points in this game. He's hit it well on a few occasions, but has hit some poor ones.
You see Vigorito telling Kozlowski to catch the punt. Slips right through his hands. He's been out for quite a while, but luckily Miami comes up with the football.
A lot of long-distance companies would like you to...
Marty Schottenheimer and Don Shula. Schottenheimer just completing his 1st full season as a head coach in the NFL. Don Shula completing his 23rd. 16 at Miami after his tour at Baltimore. Don Johnson of Miami Vice up here in the booth with us. Said, I don't know how you guys do this. This is a tough gig.
I knew that.
He's working. Here's a throw, but an incompleted pass at the 43-yard line.
Last drive for the Cleveland Browns consumed 5 minutes and 29 seconds. This one should have been caught, I believe, although slightly overthrown by Dan Marino. It appears to me he's not even taking a check of his wide receivers. They've been so shut down by the Cleveland defensive backs. He's going to the underneath guys, figuring the outside guys are going to be covered. And they have been most of the day.
Miami could find themselves in a game of beat the clock pretty soon at 7:16 to go. Those are the 2 guys who are beating Miami with their running, Mack and Biner. Now it's up to the Cleveland defense to try to stop Marino and the Dolphins. Nathan Weaving Tony Nathan in open field. Al Gross has a line on him, and Gross gets him, but inside the Cleveland 35-yard line. So Marino to Nathan is good for 39, and the Dolphins drive on.
Once again to match up Eddie Johnson with Tony Nathan. Third time we've seen it. Third time Nathan has been able to avoid the initial tackler. Good job by Clayton, giving him an assist and a block down the field. I'm telling you, this Miami football team knows how to win, Don. Look at that move. Then he turns to the outside. Watch the little block by Clayton. Helps out a little bit.
6:34 to go. Jolting hit. Joe Carter coming out of the backfield was popped there by Curtis Weathers.
Don, coming into this ball game, we thought Nat Moore was going to be the big receiver. He just went into the ball game there for the Miami Dolphins. But this is what championship teams do. When Nat Moore can't catch the ball, they get it to Tony Nathan. He's now got 9 catches for 91 yards. They adjust. That's the name of the game.
As you know, the Miami Dolphins were in the Super Bowl last January. The Cleveland Browns have not won a postseason game since 1969. Not won a championship since '64. Right now, Cleveland, a 2-touchdown underdog in some estimates, leading 21-17 in the fourth quarter. But the Dolphins coming back. That's Bruce Hardy. And he's down to the 18-yard line. And Rodgers made the stop. A 14-yard gain for the Dolphins.
Chris Rockins on the coverage. Here's that single coverage again. On the inside guys, Marino does a great job getting it there at the right time. Rockins slips. Hardy and Nathan have been outstanding this second half. Marino all day has not really been pressured that much. He's got time to sit there and look. The Browns preferring to lay back in coverage.
Marino putting a lot of balls in the air. This will be his 45th pass. His next one. Right now he goes to Davenport, the man who broke the 31-yard touchdown run. He cracks the Cleveland defense inside the 10. First down Miami are very close to one. It's going to be a yard short where they spot the ball.
Stevenson, Foster, excellent job up front. Little delay. Running back cuts back. Schottenheimer seeing it slip from his hands.
Projecting ahead a bit, Trump. If the Dolphins should take it in and kick the extra point, they'd lead by a 24-21 count. Cleveland conceivably could get in position, kick a field goal. We might not be done playing after 60 minutes.
But they got to do it running. They don't throw the ball well when they have to late in the game to get back in it.
Nathan head down, takes some jolting hits, and he's down to the 7. It's a Miami first down. First and goal, Dolphins. And again, the sold-out Orange Bowl erupts with crowd support for Miami.
As hard as these two teams have fought throughout this football game, no matter who wins, you wonder at this point what effect it will have on them next week. This has been an absolutely devastating when it comes to physical part of the game to this.
Good point. The fourth horn to a frazzle now, and still some way to go is Davenport, the power back from Louisville, 235 pounds, a man who scored 14 touchdowns in his rookie season, one today. That rams his way down to the 2-yard line. Eddie Johnson knocked him down. Second and goal, Miami. A touchdown puts the Dolphins in the lead for the first time since early in the game when they led 3-0.
Hang on to the football here for Miami. Just hang on to it.
Davenport with 45 yards on 4 carries leads Miami in rushing. 31 of them coming on the touchdown run. Up back is Davenport. Nathan's a deep back, pitch back. Tony Nathan, and the Browns can't get him to it. No, he's down short of the goal line. It'll be third and goal. He's not in. He bounced before he hit the goal line. So it's third and goal, Miami. Game clock winding down to 2:34 and running.
On the same play. He's saying he's down. He's not in the end zone. He's down. Nathan, 8 carries, 29 yards. His big contribution, catching the ball. 9 catches, 91 yards for the day.
Now the Dolphins want to run as much time off as they can. They're not going to go down to the 2-minute warning. We'll be back for the stretch run of this divisional playoff game in a moment.
At you to Tony Nathan. Is he in the end zone? Calls down here are rather inconsistent. It's hard to tell whether his knee was down first. Tony says, come on, ref, I've worked hard today. Let me in here.
Tony Nathan is a man who's been a big difference in the Miami offense. Once it got up to speed, Tony Nathan was a focal point going to him on passes. You remember that 39-yard run with the reception. And you harken back to what Marty Schottenheimer said, Trump, before the game. He said the Dolphins beat you with big plays, but they often come on short passes and long runs following them.
So far, the drive, 8 plays, consumed 5 minutes and 21 seconds. That's the most important factor for the Miami Dolphins.
2 minutes to go. Cleveland 21, Miami 17. The winner advances to the American Conference Championship game, which you'll see on NBC Sports Sunday, January 12th. Tomorrow on NBC, it's the Raiders and the Patriots. Third and goal, Miami. Dolphins take the lead. A 15th touchdown this season for the rookie, Ron Davenport. 1:57 to play in the game.
Five carries, 46 yards for Davenport, his second touchdown of the game.
Reve spins the extra point up and through, and with 1:57 to go, the Dolphins, as they've done time and again, have rallied back, and they've taken a 24-21 lead. Now Cleveland gets it back with the whole season on the line.
The NFL plays here when the Patriots battle the Raiders.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air.
Watch this score. Great block by Dan Johnson. Whoa. Clark cleans out the hole. Woody Bennett does a great job. Davenport's in the end zone before he's touched. First time that the Dolphins have led today. No, that's not true. They were up 3-0, weren't they?
First drive, first field goal. Glenn Young now for Cleveland. It's on the line for the Browns. Glenn Young, 2 hands on the ball, gets out to the 25-yard line.
Kozar waiting for his turn. He made his reputation for comebacks for the Miami Hurricanes.
Right on this field.
Right on this field. Look at him shaking his fist.
After the game, Bob Costas will be talking with Eric Dickerson and Tony Dorsett. But right now, we're talking Cleveland, Miami, and 1:51 to go. The 12th man intense now. The crowd noise so hard to work against. Throwing a catch. Biner has the ball. He's out to the 32-yard line. 1:41 to play. Clock running. Marty Schottenheimer, cool under pressure. Watching his Browns go into alignment without a huddle. Right to the shotgun. Bernie Kosar, $1 million quarterback. Free ball. Kosar's got it, but there's a loss back to the 28-yard line. Browns led the NFL in fumbles this year. 23 fumbles they lost, but today they've not lost one.
Kosar, that was his 15th of the season. I don't understand why Cleveland is staying with the shotgun. With all the noise, get Bernie up underneath the center.
Set to go now. Bernie Kosar going up, trying to call signals against the crowd noise. Biner gets the ball somehow and gets out to the 34-yard line. Third down play. It's going to be about 2 yards short of a first down. So fourth down comes up for Cleveland. They have to go. This is it for the Cleveland Browns. 56 seconds to play. Fourth down and 2. Kosar takes a look. He's going to run it himself. He has the first down and more. He's out to the 39-yard line. Quickly calls timeout. And the clock is stopped with 46 seconds to play as the Browns fight to get in field goal range to try and tie this game.
One of the most unlikely characters to run for a first down, Bernie Kosar. But being the competitor he is, he's going to do anything he possibly can to keep his ball club in the game. Gets enough for a first down, gets on the turf. Now, the fumble he had before, one of the problems with, you see his hands up quickly to call a timeout. Watch the motion man. Ball is snapped. Bernie's not even looking. I think what happens is the center's going on the first down, and that happened to the Cleveland Browns against Pittsburgh. Cost them the football game. They should get him up underneath center. Every time you put somebody back in a shotgun like this, when the crowd's really buzzing, it puts the quarterback and the team in jeopardy. You're going to reduce your chances of a fumbled interchange a lot if you just simply put him underneath the center.
No timeout remaining for the Cleveland Browns. Remember that one he called early in the third quarter when one of his receivers wasn't in the right position. So the heat really builds in a lot of ways on the Cleveland Browns. Down 24-21 in this playoff game. Kosar fires a tip ball. And it's second down and 10. Looked like George Little might have got that one from.
That's a pretty good job. Kosar's about 6'6", 6'6.5 inches tall. When he gets his arm up over his head, that ball's coming from 8 feet high. Little's still able to get his hands up.
And it's been something. 41 seconds to go.
Crowd has taken over this football game.
12th man looms large here in the Orange Bowl. Sure helped beat the Bears. Cleveland fighting to get to field goal range. They can send the game to overtime if they're successful on a long field goal or a short one. There's a throw and a catch to Ozzie Newsome as he tries to get out of bounds but cannot. And the Cleveland Browns, apparently unaware they have no more timeouts, wandering about with the clock down to 27, 26 and running. Now they hurry into formation, realizing that time is working against them. 20 seconds to play in the game. Kosar probably just fired out of bounds. 16 seconds. He takes a look, stands in, and fires near side. It's caught by Biner. Biner's ahead, but it's too little, too late. The game clock cannot be stopped by Cleveland. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. The Browns powerless now to stop the clock, and Miami wins the game 24-21. Biner elected to go upfield rather than to the sideline.
A mistake of inexperience. That's as hard a fought football game, Don, as I've seen in 1985 for both sides.
A heartbreaker for Cleveland. And a great come-from-behind victory for a team that's hallmark is the same. Miami Dolphins railing from a 21-3 deficit to win this game and advance to the AFC Championship game against the winner of tomorrow's New England-LA Raider game.
I'd pick Tony Nathan as the MVP of this football game. His receptions absolutely was the adjustment that the Miami Dolphins made in the second half. He provided the win. Tony Nathan. Do we agree?
I'll go with you.
Thank you very much, sir.
So Tony Nathan, our Budweiser most valuable player, and Don Shula, victor again in the Orange Bowl as he's been time and again over the many seasons he's been here in Miami. This is his 16th year, and today, his birthday, and that final touchdown was no small present.
It took a long time for him to get that present, though.
Right.
This Cleveland Brown football team fought their heart out. The Miami Dolphins only have 4 veteran players on their team who have not played in a playoff game. The Cleveland Browns have 17 veterans who have not played in a playoff game. This was a battle of body punches all day long.
That was the Budweiser Most Valuable Player, Tony Nathan. So going off the field, Budweiser will donate $1,000 to the United Way on behalf of Tony Nathan. The Dolphins come back and move on the road to Super Bowl 20 on NBC Sports, which you'll see later this month from New Orleans.
I guarantee you the Dolphins will pay a lot of attention to tomorrow's game. They are 0-9 against the Raiders on the West Coast. If the Raiders win, Miami goes out there. If New England comes here, the Patriots haven't won in 18 years.
And we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Video Sports Extra, Sunday after News Center 7.
On 21-3 and battling for their playoff lives, the Miami Dolphins rally with 3 unanswered touchdowns in the second half. The last one, inside 2 minutes to play, gives Don Shula the win. And Marty Schottenheimer so close and yet so far, as the saying goes. Rookie Ron Davenport's second touchdown of the day wins it for the Dolphins 24-21 and brings us to the Budweiser NFL Report. Brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Aged, for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.